Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln wheat penny coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Coin number 1. Today, we're diving deep into the world of one of America's most iconic and mysterious coins, the 1939 Lincoln wheat penny. At first glance, it might look like any ordinary old penny you'd find in a dusty drawer, but don't be fooled. This humble little coin has a story to tell. A story of the Great Depression, wartime preparation, minting quirks, and, believe it or not, hidden treasures that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars today. So grab your magnifying glass, dust off that coin jar, and stick around. Because by the end of this video, you might just realize you've been holding onto a small fortune without even knowing it. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln wheat penny, first introduced in 1909, was a celebration of the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to ever feature a real historical figure, and it marked a major turning point in American coin design. Until then, U.S. coins were typically adorned with allegorical images like Lady Liberty. But the Lincoln cent was different, simple, bold, and deeply patriotic. Fast forward to 1939. America was slowly crawling out of the Great Depression, and just beginning to feel the ripples of World War II in Europe. The nation was tense, but hopeful. During this time, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the Lincoln wheat penny in large quantities to fuel the economy, but something unexpected happened. Some coins from this year were struck under very unusual conditions, and a few ultra-rare versions were born. These coins look almost identical to the average 1939 penny at first, but if you look closely, subtle details make all the difference. We're talking about errors, variations, and condition levels that elevate these seemingly ordinary coins to collector gold. Let's talk design. On the front, or obverse, you'll find the strong and stoic profile of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust," above his head, liberty to his left, and the date, 1939, to the right. Flip it over, and you'll see two stylized wheat ears curving along the edges of the reverse side, surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. It's classic. It's clean. It's nostalgic. And for many collectors, it's perfection, but not all 1939 wheat pennies are created equal. The real value lies in the rarest types. We're talking about specific mint marks, like those produced in San Francisco with the little s below the date, or even rarer, certain coins struck with slight doubling in the text or anomalies caused by misaligned dies. These minting quirks are what make collectors go wild. Another major factor? Condition. A penny that's been rattling around in pockets and drawers for decades is probably worth a few cents. But a 1939 Lincoln wheat penny that has been preserved in mint state, with sharp detail and no signs of wear, is a completely different story. These high-grade specimens are the holy grail for collectors, especially if they come with a rare error or limited mint run. Now, here's something most people don't realize: some of these coins were struck on experimental planchets or metal blanks that weren't supposed to be used for pennies at all. These off-metal strikes are extremely rare and often end up in private collections or museum displays. Others were double-struck, had clipped planchets, or showed signs of die cracks, tiny errors that, in the coin world, can lead to massive payouts. So how much could one of these elusive 1939 wheat pennies actually be worth? Well, if you happen to come across one of these rare versions in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially with a rare error or unique minting trait, you're not just holding a penny. You're holding a valuable piece of history that could be worth as much as $25,000, or even up to $120,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1 cent coin could be worth more than a luxury car or even a down payment on a home. And all it takes is the right coin in the right condition, with the right story behind it. So before you toss aside those old coins or hand them off without a second thought, take a closer look. That copper penny could be the key to unlocking a life-changing surprise. Check for mint marks, examine the lettering, look for signs of doubling or imperfections, and most importantly, make sure it's in the best condition possible. And if you think you found one of these gems, get it authenticated. A professional appraisal could be your first step toward turning an old penny into real treasure. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, fascinating, or just a little bit thrilling, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss our next journey into the hidden world of rare and valuable coins. Who knows what you might find next? Coin number 2, we're diving into the story of a seemingly ordinary coin that has stunned collectors for decades, the 1941 Lincoln Wheat penny. It's a coin that most people wouldn't think twice about. You may have even passed it by in an old jar, in your grandfather's coin stash, or loose in a flea market box, but here's the twist: certain versions of this humble 1941 penny have become prized treasures in the numismatic world. In fact, the right one could be worth a small fortune today. That's right. What was once worth just a single cent could now be valued at tens of thousands of dollars. Stick around as we uncover the hidden potential of this historical coin, reveal what makes it so special, and tell you exactly what to look for if you want to spot a rare one yourself. To understand the importance of the 1941 Lincoln Wheat penny, we have to go back to the early 1940s, a time of great change. The world was on the brink of global conflict. World War II was already raging across Europe, and the United States was preparing for the possibility of joining the fight. Factories were shifting from peacetime production to wartime readiness, and raw materials like copper and steel were being conserved and redirected to military efforts. The 1941 penny was minted just before the US entered the war, making it one of the last coins of its kind to be produced in pre-war conditions. It's a snapshot of America right before everything changed, a moment frozen in copper. That alone makes it a significant piece of history. But history isn't the only reason collectors chase this coin. The real magic lies in its rare variations, mysterious errors, and exceptional condition examples that have emerged over time. Let's talk design for a moment. On the front, you'll find the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, bold, dignified, and instantly recognizable. Above Lincoln's head, the phrase, "In God We Trust." To the left, the word liberty, and to the right, the date, 1941. On the reverse side are the iconic wheat ears flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the Latin motto E pluribus unum above. It's a beautiful design, simple and strong, just like the values of the nation it represents. But here's where things get really interesting. The 1941 Lincoln Wheat penny was struck at 3 different U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a small d under the date; and San Francisco, marked with an S. While millions of these pennies were minted across all 3 locations, not all were created equal. Some had defects, die variations, or minting errors that occurred during the striking process, and those are the coins collectors dream of finding. Imagine finding a 1941 penny with a double die error, where the letters or numbers appear to have been stamped twice, creating a shadow effect. Or one struck slightly off-center, giving it an unusual shape. There are even known examples struck on the wrong type of planchet, which means they were accidentally made using a metal blank intended for a different coin altogether. These off-metal errors are extremely rare and extremely valuable, but condition is everything. Most 1941 pennies you'll find have seen decades of wear. They've been in circulation, tossed in drawers, jingled in pockets. They're common in lower grades. However, if you happen to come across one that is in mint state, meaning it shows no signs of wear and maintains that original factory shine, then you're looking at something much more special. Combine that with a rare minting error or variation, and the value can skyrocket. Over the years, a handful of these rare 1941 Lincoln Wheat pennies in exceptional condition and with unique traits have surfaced at auctions, creating huge buzz in the coin collecting community. Collectors have paid jaw-dropping sums to get their hands on them, driven by both passion and the thrill of owning a true American rarity. And now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. If you're lucky enough to own a rare 1941 Lincoln Wheat penny in near-perfect condition, possibly with a rare error, such as a double die strike or an off-metal planchet, its value today could be anywhere between $20,000 and $115,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A 1-cent coin from over 80 years ago, if it checks all the right boxes, could be worth more than a luxury sports car, or even more than some people's annual salaries. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest treasures are hiding in plain sight. So, what should you do if you think you found one? First, do a close visual inspection. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Check for doubling in the lettering or numbers. Look for unusual textures, odd shapes, or differences in color that may signal a planchet issue. And most importantly, check the condition. If it looks like it's never been circulated, you could be holding something special. Then, take it to a professional grading service for authentication. Getting your coin officially graded and certified can dramatically increase its value and ensure you get top dollar if you ever decide to sell. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about money, it's about history, discovery, and the stories behind these small pieces of metal. Each coin carries a bit of the past, and some carry a fortune as well. That if you enjoyed this video and want to hear more stories about rare coins that could be hiding right in your own home, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. We're just getting started, and there are many more treasures to uncover together. Coin number 3, we're going to uncover one of those stories, the fascinating world of the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny. Now, on the surface, the 1942 penny might not look all that different from any other wheat cent. It's small, it's copper, and you've probably seen hundreds of them in your life. But make no mistake, certain versions of the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny are so rare, so mysterious, and so sought after, they've become legends in the world of coin collecting. So grab your favorite coin jar, sit back, and prepare to discover how one little penny from 1942 could be worth tens of thousands of dollars, and how to tell if you might just be holding one. Let's set the stage. The year is 1942. America is in the middle of World War II. The country is rapidly shifting its focus to support the war effort. Metal is no longer just for making coins, it's needed for tanks, planes, ships, and ammunition. Copper, in particular, is in high demand. The U.S. Mint begins experimenting with alternative metals for coinage, which would eventually lead to the steel cents of 1943. But just before that, in 1942, something interesting happened at the Mint, and not many people know the full story. That's where the magic of the 1942 penny begins. While most people think of this coin as just another copper wheat cent, a few rare examples were struck with unexpected errors, anomalies, or even on the wrong metal blanks, known as planchets. These are the kinds of mistakes that can turn an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime find. But before we dig into the rare versions, let's take a moment to appreciate the design. On the front, or obverse, we have the image of the beloved President Abraham Lincoln, facing right, with "In God We Trust" arched above, liberty to the left, and the year 1942 on the right. It's strong, simple, and patriotic. Flip it over, and you'll see the reverse design that gives this series its name. Two stylized wheat stalks curving along the edges, enclosing the words 1 cent and United States of America. And just above that is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, out of many, one. It's a powerful symbol of national unity during a time of global chaos. Now, let's talk about the versions that make collectors' hearts race. Most 1942 pennies were made of copper and struck in huge quantities at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. You'll know where your coin was minted by checking for a tiny letter under the date. No letter means Philadelphia, a small d means Denver, and an S stands for San Francisco. But here's where things get very interesting. Some coins from 1942 have known minting errors, rare flaws that occurred during the coin's production. We're talking about double die obverse coins, where the date or lettering appears doubled due to a misalignment during the stamping process. These errors are extremely valuable, especially if the doubling is visible to the naked eye. Then there are coins that were struck on the wrong metal altogether. Imagine a penny struck on a silver-colored blank intended for a dime. These off-metal errors are exceptionally rare, and their odd appearance makes them stand out. If you know what to look for, even more exciting are the coins that were perfectly struck, preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most pennies from 1942 were used in daily commerce. They passed through countless hands, got dropped, scratched, and worn down. But just a few, were set aside, sealed away, or forgotten in mint rolls, retaining their sharp detail and lustrous finish. These coins, when professionally graded and authenticated, can command staggering prices at auction. Another variation that can increase value is a repunched mint mark, where the mint letter was struck more than once, slightly off position. These tiny details might seem minor, but in the coin world, they make a massive difference in rarity and value. So how can you tell if your 1942 wheat penny is special? First, examine it closely. Look at the lettering, the date, and the mint mark under magnification. Is there any doubling? Does the coin have a different color or tone than typical copper pennies? Does the mint mark look like it was stamped more than once? These are the subtle signs that set a rare coin apart. Next, assess the condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. A coin that looks brand new, with no scratches or wear, is significantly more valuable than one that's been rattling around for 80 years. And finally, if you think you've found something promising, get it professionally appraised and graded. Services like PCGS or NGC can confirm whether your coin is truly rare and assign it an official grade, which can dramatically boost its market value. So here's the big question: how much could a rare 1942 Lincoln wheat penny actually be worth? Well, if you have one with a dramatic error, or a coin that's in flawless condition and extremely well preserved, its value today could range anywhere from $17,000 all the way up to $112,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A 1-cent coin, something you might have overlooked or passed on without a second thought, could be worth more than an entire year's salary. It's the kind of discovery that turns everyday people into thrilled collectors overnight. That's the beauty of coin collecting. It's part history, part detective work, and part treasure hunt. And the best part? You don't need to be a millionaire to start. Sometimes, all it takes is curiosity, a careful eye, and a little bit of luck. If you found this video eye-opening, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a chance to uncover your next hidden treasure. We've got plenty more coin stories coming your way, and you never know which one might lead to a life-changing discovery. Coin number 4, we're about to crack open the incredible story of a coin that most people barely notice, a simple copper penny from the year 1946. But this isn't just any penny. Hidden among the millions of Lincoln wheat pennies from that year are a few extraordinary pieces that are now considered rare American treasures. So don't let the small size fool you. Because the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny might be worth far more than its face value. In fact, if you're lucky enough to have the right one in your collection, it could be worth thousands. Real money. Life-changing money. Let's dive into why this coin, one many people overlook, has such a fascinating backstory and why it has become so valuable among collectors today. The year is 1946. America has just emerged from the Second World War. Soldiers are coming home, industries are shifting from wartime production back to consumer goods, and the country is filled with a sense of cautious optimism. It was a time of rebuilding, restarting, and redefining what it meant to live in a post-war America, and like most years, the United States Mint continued to produce pennies. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny was struck at 3 facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. You can tell where your coin came from by looking just below the year on the coin. No letter means Philadelphia. A small d stands for Denver, and an S means it was minted in San Francisco. At first glance, the 1946 penny looks like any other wheat cent. On the front is the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln, sharp, stoic, and symbolic of the country's strength and resilience. Above his head, the words, "In God We Trust." To the left, "Liberty." And to the right, the year, 1946. On the reverse, you see 2 wheat stalks, gracefully curving around the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the Latin phrase E pluribus unum sitting proudly at the top. It's a clean, iconic design. One of the most recognized in American coinage. But here's the twist: while over 1 billion Lincoln cents were minted in 1946, only a handful have characteristics that make them truly rare and extremely valuable. Why? Because not every coin that left the mint that year was perfect. Some coins were struck with defects, others with unusual materials, and a few have been preserved so flawlessly, they stand out from all the rest. Let's start with mint errors. These are coins that were made with some kind of mistake during the minting process. In 1946, there were examples of double die obverse pennies. That means the coin was accidentally stamped twice, creating a shadow-like effect on the lettering or date. If you spot doubling in the word liberty or the numbers in the date, you might be holding something quite rare. Then there are coins that were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin was made using a blank intended for another denomination or metal. These coins are often lighter or heavier than a normal penny and may have a strange color or metallic look. They're extremely scarce and very valuable to collectors. Another type of error involves repunched mint marks, where the small d or s under the date was punched more than once and slightly off. You'll need a magnifying glass to catch it, but if you see doubling in the mint mark, that coin could be something special. But let's not forget one of the most important factors in coin collecting: condition. Most 1946 wheat pennies were used daily. They've been dropped, scratched, pocketed, and passed down for decades. But a small number of these coins were never circulated. They were carefully stored, untouched by time. These are the coins that shine, literally. With a full, bright copper luster and no visible wear, they are known as mint state coins. Combine a mint state coin with a rare error or variant, and you've got the ingredients for a true collector's dream. So, how do you find out if your 1946 penny is valuable? First, take a close look. Use a magnifier or jeweler's loupe. Examine the lettering. Is there any doubling? Any unusual marks? Does the coin feel different in weight or color? Look carefully at the mint mark. Does it appear repunched? Next, consider the condition. A shiny, well-preserved coin with no scratches, dents, or discoloration is always going to be more valuable than one that's been through a century of wear and tear. And finally, if you think you might have something rare, don't leave it to guesswork. Send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can give your coin an official grade and confirm if it has any unique features that boost its value. Now comes the moment you've been waiting for. So just how much could a rare 1946 Lincoln wheat penny be worth in today's market? Well, if you have one of the exceptional pieces, a coin with a minting error, or one in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, it could sell for anywhere between $13,000 and $108,000. Yes, you heard that right. One small copper penny, worth just 1 cent when it was made, could now be valued at tens of thousands of dollars. That's more than just a coin, it's a piece of history, a collector's prize, and potentially, your ticket to an unbelievable return on a forgotten piece of pocket change. So before you overlook that old penny lying around in a drawer or mixed in with your spare change, take a closer look. You might just be holding something far more valuable than you ever imagined. If you found this video informative or exciting, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell so you never miss out on another rare coin reveal. We're just getting started, and there are so many more hidden treasures to uncover together. Coin number 5, we're uncovering the amazing secrets behind a coin you've probably seen 100 times before but likely never looked at twice, the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny. On the surface, it looks like any old penny. But don't be fooled. Because hidden among the millions of pennies struck that year are rare, valuable, and mysterious versions that could be worth an absolute fortune. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot the differences, and how this humble penny might turn into a once-in-a-lifetime payday. Let's rewind for a moment. The year is 1954. America is in the midst of post-war prosperity. Families are moving to the suburbs, the economy is booming, and the coin in your pocket, yes, the Lincoln wheat penny, is quietly witnessing history unfold. It was a year of change, growth, and hope. But at the U.S. Mint in Denver, Colorado, something else was happening, something that would spark the curiosity of coin collectors for decades to come. The Lincoln wheat penny series had already been around since 1909, created to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse featured the iconic profile of the 16th president, facing right, with "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and "the year" to the right. The reverse featured 2 wheat ears enclosing the denomination 1 cent and the proud name of United States of America, with "E pluribus unum" above, simple. Elegant. American. Now, in 1954, the Denver Mint, identified by the small d just below the date, produced a massive number of Lincoln wheat pennies. We're talking hundreds of millions. But here's the catch, not all of those coins were created equally. In fact, a select few left the mint with errors, variations, or exceptional quality that transformed them from pocket change into collector's gold. Let's talk about what sets the rare ones apart. First up, mint errors. The 1954 penny is known for several types of striking errors. Some of the most famous include double die obverse coins, where the design elements like the date or lettering appear doubled due to a slight shift during the minting process. This kind of error is extremely desirable, especially when the doubling is strong and visible without a microscope. Then there are repunched mint marks. In 1954, mint marks were still being hand-punched into the coin dies. And sometimes, the D was accidentally stamped more than once, slightly misaligned. These repunched mint marks, or RPMs as collectors call them, are small details that can make a huge difference in a coin's value. Another interesting variation? Off-center strikes, where the coin's design is noticeably shifted because it wasn't properly aligned in the press. Or broad strikes, where the coin's rim is missing because it was struck without a collar. These kinds of minting mistakes are like typos in a rare book. Collectors love them because they're unusual, and they tell a unique story about the production process, but of course, condition is key. Most 1954 pennies were spent, scraped, and tossed around in people's pockets, drawers, and piggy banks. So finding one in high-grade, uncirculated condition, what collectors call mint state, is like striking copper gold. A mint state 1954 penny will have full original luster, no visible wear, and sharp, clean details. And if it also has an error, the value can skyrocket. Coin grading services like PCGS or NGC have certified some of these rare gems, and when they appear at auction, the bidding wars begin. So, how can you tell if you have a valuable 1954 penny? Start by examining the mint mark. Is it clearly stamped? Does it appear to have been punched more than once? Look at the date and lettering. Do they seem doubled or shadowed in any way? Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and inspect it under good lighting. Then, study the condition. Is it shiny and free from wear? Does it still have that bright copper glow? The better the condition, the higher the grade, and the higher the grade, the bigger the value. And if you see something truly unusual, an off-center strike, strange markings, missing parts of the design, it might just be an error coin. That's your signal to get it professionally evaluated. Services like PCGS, NGC, or Annex can grade your coin and certify any known errors, giving you a clear sense of what it's worth and how rare it is. And now, here comes the part you've been waiting for. What is the true value of a rare 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny? If you have one of these coins with a minting error, like a strong double die or a dramatic repunched mint mark, or if your penny is in near perfect, uncirculated condition, then you could be holding something worth anywhere between $8,000 and $100,000. Yes, you heard that right. A penny, a simple copper coin from the 1950s, could be worth more than what most people pay for an entire car, and the best part? These coins are still out there. In old collections, in forgotten drawers, in boxes of inherited change. So before you toss that old penny aside or trade it in for cash, take a second look. You might just be holding a small piece of history and a big opportunity. Yet if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1954 Wheat penny and want to explore more rare coins that could be hiding right under your nose, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a future treasure hunt. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin has a story. Yours might just have a jackpot hidden behind Lincoln's smile. Happy hunting, and until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and keep looking closely. Because the next great discovery could be in the palm of your hand.